Hi, Bethany Perry here. I've started this video at least 1,000 times in my mind, and I've had so much trouble getting my thoughts into words to ensure that I won't be taken in a way that I don't mean, that I don't intend. So I actually think I want to start there. Our whole world has been in what is known as existential trauma. It's when more than many people experience the same trauma from the COVID pandemic. If we think back just 2 months, the traumas that we were experiencing were very different than the ones we're experiencing today. And no one responds to trauma the same way. No one. We all see the world from our own perspective, from our own experiences, and how we perceive them, along with literally how our brains are wired, as well as how much previous trauma we have in our bodies and in our life experiences. So in the midst of COVID, not only was I scrambling to get my coaching course presentable, moving from meeting in person to 100% online, I was also in the midst of my own trauma. Maybe a little lower to T, I say capital T, lowercase t for trauma, from sheltering, of being separate from my family, from living alone. Well, I had a dear friend come shelter with me, and truly I can't imagine that time without her staying with me. Deep inside, because of just who I am, without being able to touch my family, I was truly struggling. And some days I felt like I was drowning. I was just thinking about it brings it all back up. That's trauma, by the way. Like all of us, the forced change, while necessary to flatten the curve, doesn't mean it was an easy transition. Not only were many of you working from home, homeschooling, single parenting, many of us stopped working altogether, had no income. And many were doing that with too much family or completely isolated and alone. All of that was huge. And then comes the murder of George Floyd. I simply have no words. Shock, outrage, grief all come to mind. And ultimately for me, it comes once again back to trauma. How do we heal? How do we come back from trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma? What's the answer? What's the answer for the generations to come? Because what happens in our bodies is going to happen in theirs. And it will be their choice to change it. But, well, I'll be honest, the looting and the destruction, in my opinion, only brings about more fear and anger and all energetic levels that keep us stuck in the same place. The things that we don't want. But I'm not, go ahead and protest. I think if we want true change, it's about listening. Not only to others, but listening to ourselves. What are we saying in our heads? What are we feeling in our hearts? Taking stock of our mindset and shifting where and when we need to. It's not easy to change, is it? It's why so many of us don't. But how do we reset? How do we bring about healing for ourselves, for our communities, for our country and our world? Again, this is my opinion. And yes, I'm going to talk even longer. I've been silent for many months and whatever. There's only one way to bring about healing. And it's joining forces with love. True unconditional love, and moving through hand in hand with our sisters and our brothers, young and old, around the world. We're seeing a desire for change. my work is all about supporting the change that each individual or group of people I'm working with, what they want to see for themselves, which in turn creates a better world for those that they love. So often, however, when we're experiencing trauma that has yet to become PTSD because we're still in the midst of it, love is not very easy to find. Because love is the highest energy there is. And trauma takes us to our knees. And it takes us down wells and rabbit holes and into the lowest of trenches. And this is where I believe that not only I can help, but how you can help. Ask. Reach out for the hand nearest you. If the only thing you tell them you need love. And if someone tells you that, friggin' love them. Wrap your arms around them. Wear a mask if you have to. Feel their pain. And I'm going to ask you to do an exercise, even right now, or remember it. This was actually taught by one of my coaches to the whole group in one of his presentations. I'd like you to spend the next 1 to 2 minutes just thinking about someone that you love very deeply, someone that you love with every cell in your entire being, your whole heart and soul. And I invite you to feel that. Be aware of your body and what the feeling of love does for you, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Notice the shift. Stay there as long as you're able or as long as you like. And keep that love with you and gently take it to the place in you that may be holding fear. And never give up. Never. Continue. Every time you fall down, get back up. Imperfection is a part of the human condition. It's how we learn to change. And it's how we help others as well as how we can it's how we help ourselves as well as how we can pass the gift of wisdom of our experience, of our own internal change and growth on to other people. Does that make sense? I'm going to say that again. Never give up. Continue. Every time you fall down, get back up. If you need help getting up, ask. Crawl on your belly. Pull yourself up. Lean against a wall like I'm doing. Fall over and rest when you need to. Imperfection is a part of the human condition. It's how we learn to change. It's how we grow. It's how we help ourselves change, as well as how we can pass the gift of the wisdom of experience and change on to others. One individual brain has more connections than all the stars in the sky. And we can change those connections. If you don't believe me, study epigenetics. We can stop hatred and violence. We can stop it. Mahatma Gandhi, while leading nationwide campaigns to ease poverty, expand women's rights, build religious and ethnic harmony, and eliminate the injustices of the caste system, he supremely applied the principles of non-violent civil disobedience, playing a key role in freeing India from foreign domination. Martin Luther King Jr., a Baptist minister, he sought to raise the public consciousness of racism, to end racial discrimination and segregation in the United States. And while his goal was racial equality, he also plotted out a series of smaller objectives that involved local grassroots campaigns for equal rights for African Americans. King received the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolence. Dr. King awakens something strong and true, a sense that true justice, this is a quote by the way, must be colorblind, and that among white and black Americans, as he put it, their destiny is tied up with our destiny, and their freedom is inextricably bound to our freedom. We cannot walk alone. While semantics have changed in 2020, and color blindness is not even possible, think about it, unless we are physically blind, we see color. So see color and be thankful for color. What would our world be without it? Each and every human being has a right to be proud of the person that they are, their experiences, their heritage, the skin that they're in. And if we're not proud of the parenting that we received, then it is up to change who we are to better, to be better, to offer better to those that are coming after us. That's on us. No blame, no shame. It's no more of that. It doesn't get you anywhere. Except right back to where you are, stuck. That's my opinion. So here I am, once again, in a place of really deep pain for all those that are hurting. The whole world is hurting. Can you feel it? For those that have lost loved ones to COVID or any other death during COVID and not even being able to celebrate their life with loved ones, to receive hugs, to be able to have hugged your loved one goodbye. For murder and violence of any kind against anyone. For fear. For loss of businesses due to COVID or due to riots. My heart grieves, yet in my grief, I choose love. I stand on love, and I stand on integrity in all my imperfection. I hold out my hand to those who need help. I'm holding it out. I mean it. And I'm holding the other one up because I also need help. So while I see your color, it doesn't affect my reaction to you. And I'm thankful for that. I was raised that way. I'm thankful to my parents for that. They changed it in themselves because their parents were racist or their grandparents. So when any one of us, myself included, fall into a place of fear, of anger, of violence and hatred, we, me, are the enemy in that moment. I'm going to say that again because it happens to all of us. When any one of us, myself included, fall into a place of fear, anger, violence, and hatred, we are the enemy in that moment. The victor and the only victor is love. Choose love, seek love, ask for love, give love, real, unconditional love. Because it's then and only then that we can meet together, every color, every nation, and every creed, and find the path that will eliminate racial trauma so that we can support one another in all the losses and traumatic events that life brings our way. Because it will. It is, again, a part of the human condition. So let's just take one small but huge scenario. We've got a couple. One is an abuser and one is abused. We typically want to work with the person who's abused. We want to help that person, and of course we do, but guess what? This person, what happened to him or her to create that in their soul? They need love too. So how do we come together? How do we do it? Building a framework. It's like a puzzle. Let's build the framework and fit the pieces in, working like Dr. King, on a small grassroots level so that it can expand and grow. But as for me, I'm here to love you, and I mean it. When I was growing up, my dad, when it was coming time to choose college, I'm like, Dad, I just want to love people. He would hit his head and just, my poor dad. But the truth is, it is all I've ever wanted to do. And I'm grateful that in my work I'm able to do that. And I'm grateful for this, being able to make this video and say, guess what? I love you. And I mean it. But I can only love you as much as I know how to love myself. And as much as I'm willing to receive love, not only from others, and we're going to talk about my belief now, but from God Himself. Because only God's love is perfect. And the same is true for every single human being, whether we know it or not. And we all have a choice in what to believe. I'm not here to preach my faith to you. But let me remind you, I am here with a hand up and a hand out. I am here to help free you from the traumas that keep you from living your very best life and knowing in the very core of your soul, without a shadow of a doubt, that your value is beyond measure. Yeah, your value is beyond measure. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm just going to say it. All the hate that is on social media, I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're white or black, Democrat or Republican. It's not just about America, guys. I care about your soul. Because when your soul and your heart is nurtured, then you will pass that on. I'm here for that, for you. And I know many others that are as well. I invite you to stop the low energy that only brings about more low level energies. Because love is the answer. Everything in this world has a beginning and an end. Everything. Except one thing. And that's love. Love is what will always remain. So I ask you today, in all your choices and all the things that you post, or all the things that you say, all the things that you do, who do you want to be in this moment? Who do you want to be tomorrow? What legacy do you want to leave? What do you want your children, your friends, and your family to say about you? Who do you want to be known as? How do you want to be known and remembered? What do you want on your tombstone? If you have one. That's the end. Here. The legacy we leave behind is why we're here. Do your part. Help where you can. Live the mission you were sent to live. We're all different. And what a great thing that is. It didn't used to be so difficult to be different. That's what America was founded on. But this isn't about America anymore. This is about all of us coming together, slowly perhaps, learning how to trust, learning how to build trust, learning how to retrust, and loving. I'm not going to apologize for my tears. I'm not going to apologize for taking so long to speak. I'm only going to say my hand is out to you. It's out to you. Reach. My name is Bethany Perry. You can reach me at life@bethanyperry.com. If I get missed, I'm on Facebook. My website is bethanyperry.com. I'm here to love you. It's my purpose. It's why I was born. And if I can help you love someone else so that we can spread love, the highest energy of all, we can change the world. And it will be a place where we all want to be. We won't want to leave it. So for those of you who are still here, thank you for being here. And thank you for hearing my heart. May you know that you are the most important person in the world. And may you know you're loved. This is Bethany Perry with bethanyperry.com.